Hey everybody! I know I'm over a month late on this, but in December I had a lot of creative ideas that I wanted to get out there, and I want to talk about that for a minute. See, I was shocked to see the number of rude comments, and they increased a lot in the month of December, and I noticed a lot of dislikes on some of the videos where I would tell stories. If you don't like creative content, and you're just here for the pickup videos, that's cool. There's plenty of those here and in other channels. But on this channel, it's also about telling a story and trying to immerse you in an experience in some way. And I like to provide a bit of nostalgia with that. For those that do enjoy their pickup and collection talks mixed with stories, thank you. I'm here for you because I started this channel after reflecting on a lot of my friends that I used to play games with and just talk about random gaming topics, and they've moved away. And I thought that this would be the perfect place to build a community and try and continue doing that and meet new crews along the way. So again, thank you if that's you. It means the world to me. But without further ado, let's get on with the Black Friday pickups over a month later. The first is Hotel Barcelona. I've never heard of this game. Not once before this year's Black Friday sale. I've never heard of this. I'm not even familiar with cult games or White Owls, but I was intrigued by the box art. And I was drawn in by the 7 serial killers, 1 haunted hotel line on the back. What is this mystery? Well, it's a 2.5D roguelike based on horror and quirky humor. And just recently, I saw this come up on a 10 most disappointing games of 2025 video on another channel, and that's a bummer because he noted clunky controls and almost delayed controls, if you will, slowdowns and stuttering more times than he could count, and a fragmented story. I mean, I'm still going to give it a shot, but it'll likely get played with my randomizer chooses it for me rather than being a must-play game for me in 2026. The next game is Toa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree. Now, I've actually heard of this game from some other channels, and I heard it in a much more positive light than Hotel Barcelona. It's another roguelite game, which might be a theme here, and I should say that I'm usually intimidated by these kind of games. I don't outwardly seek them out, but the first 3 games are going to kind of fall into that genre. It had some really great looking art style, a cool dual player mechanic noted on the box, as well as something about forging your weapons, so I'm assuming that there's a bit of a crafting aspect to this game too. I haven't heard that it's the most amazing thing to come out recently, but it's not a bottom of the barrel kind of a game either from what I can tell, and oftentimes there's a sweet spot in there that I tend to really enjoy. Next is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate Deluxe Edition. Another roguelite. I told you there's a theme here. This one I've actually played a little bit through the Apple Arcade port. I think it actually started on Apple Arcade perhaps. And I used an Xbox controller there connected to my Apple TV. And I had a good time with it for a short while I tried it out. I'm a pretty big TMNT fan, so I thought this might be the perfect game to convince me of playing other roguelite games and enjoying them. Honestly, if this game can't do it, nothing probably can for me, so I'll just toss them all out if I don't like this game. And when I played maybe 30 minutes of it on the Apple TV, I really enjoyed the combat and the boss fights and the general premise of the game. I have high hopes for this, and it might just be a game that I personally picked to play in 2026. Who's your favorite turtle, by the way? Mine is Raphael. I've always resonated with him since the days of the Saturday morning cartoon Turtles. Here we have Choo Choo Charles. And admittedly, this game is not for me. I picked it up and I just haven't decided when to give it to my daughter yet. She's weirdly into horror games. I just got her Poppy's Playtime for the PS5. More kid-themed horror, so she's enjoyed things like Five Nights at Freddy's. I think she played an hour of Poppy's Playtime over the holiday here. And hopefully this game, she'll enjoy it too. One day I'll introduce her to something like Resident Evil or The Last of Us or Doki Doki Literature Club. But not yet. All I know about this game is that you're on a train or a railroad for some unknown reason, I have no clue why, and you're being chased by this giant spider demon train. And I honestly don't know much more than that. I've heard her say "Choo Choo Charles" in the past. My daughter, she said that a few times in passing, so this might be one of those surprises I give to her when she brings up an amazing report card, or acts like a real leader on her softball team, or she does something selfless for her community. But until then, it's just going to be another Black Friday pickup for me here. Next is Chronos: The New Dawn. And there's something special for me about Chronos, and that's because of the history that I have with Bloober Team. You see, I played the original Layers of Fear game a long time ago. It might be like 10 years ago at this point, somewhere around that time. And then after I played it on Steam, I just sat there with my jaw dropped, like, what did I just experience? I was instantly in love with this game, that Layers of Fear. It immediately became my #1 horror-themed title that I've ever played. I felt compelled to reach out to Bloober Team, and I sent them an email, and somehow it arrived at their secretary or their front desk person. And I was thanked for the kind words. They told me to stay tuned for something special in the future. I just took that to mean that there's probably a DLC coming, or probably Layers of Fear 2, which did eventually come out. The special thing that they had in mind, though, was gifting me a copy of Layers of Fear 2 years later when it was released. Like, how on earth did they even remember me? Or did they save my email from that long ago as, hey, save these emails for people and we'll give them a gift later or something? And I was again in love with this group. I never had a personal experience with any game developers, so this was kind of like being starstruck. And I can only hope to have this effect on someone someday, as I'm also in software development as a product manager. I'm building solutions for people that ask for them, and I've met a number of people that have made such requests to me to build them something special. But back to Chronos: The New Dawn. It's a survival horror game, and I have seen some really good things about this. When I watch some videos, the word oppressive comes to mind, in a good way, meaning that the world and atmosphere just feels heavy and tense. And I'm really looking forward to playing this. I'm probably going to hold off until October of 2026 this year, and I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to see what happens. The final game for this list right now is Dragon's Dogma 2, and I've had my eye on this for a while now. I think this is the second Black Friday to see this game appear, and I waited for the $20 price point. I don't care if it's used or new, I just knew $20 was my price point for this, as I never played the first, so I wasn't sure I wanted to take on the game that I heard it could take some 20 hours and others take 60 hours to beat. It's definitely up my alley though, being an action RPG with some amazing looking combat and a rich world. One of my friends that played this last year, he was surprised by how many events took place that he felt he actually helped shape or cause. And I don't quite understand that today, but hopefully after playing this I will. He also told me that the story is one of the weakest elements, and that's usually what drives me to play one of these kind of games, but I'll be the judge of that. Well, it says the guy who said the same thing about Fast and Furious Crossroads on the PS4. And by the way, critics were definitely right about that. That is a 4 all day long. And that was Black Friday online, folks. I didn't go too nuts because I found quite a few awesome deals in used game stores that I'll detail in a future video. I hope you found something great during your online Black Friday shopping, but I gotta say that I enjoy the in-person shopping a lot more, and I was very disappointed at how weak that experience was this year. Some folks say that Gen Z enjoys the retro, early 2000s experience just as much as us millennials do. So I'm hoping that as they get more money and get out into the real world, that they're going to help us bring back that experience that we used to have as kids. So thanks for joining me today on Let's Build a Collection. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share a comment about some of your pickups from your Black Friday online sales. Thanks, everyone.